Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad to have you here. For those who are new, my name is Dana and I am the maker behind Madison Day Crochet. So at the time that this video is being recorded, it is the beginning of a new year, the start of 2023, and we all love to make those New Year's resolutions, right? So this year I'm actually making my own, and I am going to start a yarny podcast. I've been wanting to do this for a really long time. So my goal this year is to do one podcast episode a month to kind of just update you about what is going on behind the scenes. So I will go through all my current projects I'm working on and maybe some that I've been working on for years. And finished projects that I finished the previous month. I'm also planning to share some of my favorite things. Some of those things will be yarn or craft related, and others will be non-craft related things. So without further ado, let's get started. I think I'm going to start with my favorite thing. So first we'll go yarn related, favorite thing of this month. And it's actually not a thing that you can really hold in your hand. It's actually an app on your phone. So I don't know if you're like me, but those little stitch markers that you can buy at like Michael's and wear around your neck, I lose those all the time. I think I've bought myself 3 or 4 of them and they are missing. And then the other problem with that is that you can only use those for one project at a time. Now for me, who has to have at least 5 projects going on at once, that doesn't really work well for me. So I kind of started looking for an app that would count my rows and stitches for me. And I found this app called Crochet and Knit Counter. It's just a pink app with a little timer on it. So I'll show you guys. And basically, if you type in knit and crochet counter, it will pop up just like this. Now, the cool thing about this app that I love the most is that you can have different projects going on at once. So basically, when you open the app, you can start a project and basically you can name the project you're working on and then count rows or stitches for that specific project. And then it's saved with that name. So then if you wanted to start counting rows or stitches for another project, you just add another project to your little to-do list. So like I said, I love having multiple projects going on at once. So this is what my app looks like when you open it. Anyways, that is my favorite thing currently that is yarn or craft related. I just love that I can keep track of my rows and stitches for different projects all at once. Now for my non-yarn related favorite thing. So this year, because it is a new year, I am really trying to be better about planning my time. I am a mom who is homeschooling 2 out of 3 of my kids. And also on the side, I am a birth doula. And so I have to really juggle and plan my time really well. So this year I asked my husband to get me this amazing planner. It's from the Daily Grace Co., which I love this website. No, I'm not sponsored by them, but I have done a bunch of their Bible studies and I really, really love their Bible studies, their Bible study tools. So please go check them out. I'll put their link in the description down below. So here is the Daily Grace Planner. This is what I'm going to try to use this year to plan my life. So one of the first things I love about this planner is that it's a fill in your own date planner. So it is a quarterly planner, which means it's only 3 months long, and you get to put in your own dates. So it doesn't come pre-dated, which is something that I have to have when it comes to a planner, because I'll buy those yearly planners and it will not get used. And I feel like I'm just wasting paper because I used 1 month of that planner. So I have found that fill in your own date planners are for me. But the other thing I really, really love about this planner is that it's helping me focus my goals and my planning and my productivity around my relationship with the Lord. So if you are new to the Madison Day Crochet community, I am a believer, and I really take my relationship with the Lord seriously. So that's one of my goals personally for this year. And so that's why I am so very excited about this planner. Okay, well, that's it for my favorite things. So now let's get to some exciting stuff, and I'll show you guys some of my finished projects that I finished in December. So for my first finished project, this is actually a project that I should have finished over a year ago, because I started it over a year ago, but it is this beautiful blanket that I made for my oldest daughter. And I think I'm calling it the Neapolitan blanket because it looks like Neapolitan ice cream. Everybody who I've shown this to has asked if I was inspired by Neapolitan ice cream. No, that was kind of an accident. These are just colors I picked and I liked them together, and Regina liked them together, so I made her a blanket out of it. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to actually write a pattern for this. If you are interested in a pattern for it, leave a comment down below. But let me show you guys a little bit closer. It is a really pretty single crochet and chain 2 in between the single crochets stitch, and it makes this really pretty simple V stitch. And then I basically just switched between the colors, and I did all the rows a different amount of stitches, or I did the colors in different amount of rows. So except the white, because that's the complementary one. And then I just did a really, really simple single crochet border because I didn't want to really take away from the blanket. But this is my first finished project, and actually I finished it on December 31st. Okay, so next project is a hat. So actually in December I got to test a pattern for my sweet friend Courtney of Hippie Stitching. She released an amazing pattern for an adorable hat called the Textured Palm Beanie, and I had the pleasure of testing it. And so I'm going to show you guys my finished Textured Palm Beanie. Here it is. It is super cute, super warm, and I just love the texture that these stitches created. And then of course I am just obsessed with palms right now, so I love it with a palm. So the yarn I used for this hat is called Vindalana by Knit Crate, Tweedy Sheep, and it's in the color Spiced Cranberry. So I got this in one of my Knit Crates forever ago. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Knit Crate, but unfortunately the company shut down, so it doesn't exist anymore. But basically what it was is it was a knit and crochet subscription box, and you would get 2 skeins of yarn and a knitting and crochet pattern. And the yarn was basically random, so you wouldn't really know what colors you were getting. And so I actually got this Spiced Cranberry in one of my crates, and I loved it so much that I bought more of it, because once those crates are released, you're able to buy more of that yarn if you like it. So I bought, I think, 2 more skeins. So I had 4 total in my stash, and I was hoping to slowly buy more. But then they ran out, so I only had 4. I eventually wanted to make a sweater, but I was not going to be able to make a sweater with only 4 skeins. So when I saw Courtney's post about testing her pattern, I decided, well, I'm going to use this really pretty yarn and make me a cute hat. And so that is what I did. I actually got to make another hat in this pattern for my aunt for Christmas. Unfortunately, I don't have any more because I already mailed it to her, but I will try to share a picture of it here. And I also made even a baby hat version of this hat, and it turned out really cute too. So I will also share a photo of that here too, so you can just see it because it's adorable. And I love making baby things. Okay, for my last finished project, and it's actually projects because it's two things I'll be showing you, is this basket that you can see here in the background. And inside of it, it actually has some small washcloths. So for one of my sweet friends in California, I decided to make her a little care package. One of my crochet friends, her name is Megan of Darling Be Brave. I follow her. I've been following her on Instagram since I got on Instagram as a crocheter. We've been longtime friends. Haven't met in person yet, but she is so sweet and I love all of the things she makes. She actually wrote this amazing basket pattern, and I will put that link down below for you guys. And I saw that she was making a bunch of baskets for her family for Christmas, and I'm like, oh, I should make my friend a basket and fill it up with some goodies. So that's what I did. So inside of it, I just made a couple of different washcloths, and I did in Christmas colors because, you know, it was for Christmas. So here's my first one. For this one, I used the even moss stitch. I just really love the texture of the even moss stitch. So that was a given to use for a washcloth. For this next one, that's my solid green, I ended up using the half double herringbone. There we go. The half double herringbone stitch. I just wanted all the washcloths to be different, and I really like this stitch as well. It just makes a really nice, clean surface, and I thought that would be nice for a washcloth. And then the last one, I wanted to use both colors. So what I ended up doing is a corner to corner regular moss stitch, just to make it different and unique and a different kind of stripe. I really liked how this turned out. It just makes it look more unique than like a normal striped washcloth. So I'm really, really excited that this turned out so well. And then, of course, the basket. So here is my cute little basket. I decided to do two tones. It just looked really, really pretty. Of course, I kind of wished I would have bought more of the brown so that the brown would have went up just a little bit more on the basket. But I still like how it turned out anyways. And it is really, really big, so it'll fit all of the goodies I'm sending to my friend in it, but then also she can use it to store pretty much whatever she wants. Now, Megan's pattern actually tells you how to put handles on it. I didn't want to add handles. I really like how it looks without the handles, so I kind of tried it with that, and I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. So I think I decided that I'm going to start with all my small projects and then work up to my bigger projects. So the first one that I'm going to show you guys is actually a scarf that I'm making for myself. And it's also in that spiced cranberry yarn that I made my hat in that I showed you earlier. So I am making me an infinity scarf in the spiced cranberry yarn. And I'm basically just doing a simple half double crochet in the back loop, in the back loop. And I'm just hoping to use the rest of the spiced cranberry yarn I have. The hat used 1 and like maybe 1/4 of a second skein. So I pretty much have 2 3/4 of a skein left. So I think that should be enough to make a scarf big enough that I would like. Because I want to be able to wrap it around at least twice around my neck so it's like thick and it keeps me nice and warm. So hopefully I have enough yarn to do that. So I will keep you guys posted on that. Okay, so my next current project is a Christmas project. And yes, I am working on a Christmas project after Christmas. I'm actually making 2 of these for some of my family members that I was supposed to send to them again before Christmas, but life and sickness happened this last Christmas season. So I'm sending everything late, but I'm still sending it. So I feel like that's still accomplishing something. But this is a crochet wreath, and the pattern is actually by the Turtle Trunk. I believe this pattern is still for free on the Crafty Concept blog, because I know she appeared on the Crafty Concept blog not this last Christmas, the Christmas before, but you can also buy the pattern in her Etsy shop. Okay, the next project I'm going to show you guys is another scarf. So for those who don't know, I am still a very beginner knitter. I have been crocheting for over 10 years now. And then I would say in 2018, I finally was able to pick up knitting, but I don't knit very often because I'm still a beginner and it's easier to crochet. So occasionally I will have a knitting project to work on. So one of my favorite knitting stitches is called the seed stitch. And I really wanted to be able to have a project that I could work on occasionally, and also have a project to where it was simple and I would be able to kind of just master knitting at whatever pace I wanted to. So I have this really pretty scarf that I'm making in this beautiful orange yarn. And I don't know, I might give this to my mother because she loves orange, but I don't know how long this is going to take me. So it could be 3 years from now, Mom. So if you're watching this, don't expect this for a while. But let me show you guys just the stitch up close because I really, really love this stitch. It's one of my absolute favorite knitting stitches. It's basically you alternate knitting and purling, but then whatever stitch you end the row on, you want to start the next row with that same stitch, and it kind of makes this really pretty bumpy texture. So I'm pretty much just working on this whenever I want something to work on that's different. Like if I need a break from whatever I'm working on, I'm like, I just want to work on something that like is slow paced. And then, or if I'm like in the mood for knitting, like this is the project I pick up. So who knows when I'll finish this scarf, but again, I just like it as like a go-to, let's change it up and work on something new. Okay, I promise I am almost done with my current projects. I actually have 2 left. One of them I'm really, really excited about, and I'm really hoping I can finish it this month. So this is my Traveler Fair Isles crocheted sweater. And you guys, look at this color work. I crocheted color work. And I am so freaking excited that I was able to do it. So I only have partially one sleeve done. So now I got to just work on the color work on that sleeve, and then I can start my other sleeve. But so, funny story, I also started this sweater in fall of 2021. I actually got most of the yoke done then, and then I put the project away and then kind of forgot about it, and life got busy. And then recent fall, I was like, man, I really want to finish that sweater so I can wear something that I made. So I picked it up again, I think a week and a half before Thanksgiving, and I've pretty much have done all this since then. So I'd probably say I started here a week and a half before Thanksgiving, so all of the rest of this and the sleeve I've gotten done since then. So my goal is to finish this by next podcast episode so I can show you guys how it looks on. So far the fit is perfect. I have not made something for myself that is fit this perfect. Now, of course, I'm pretty sure I'm still going to have to block this when it's done, and that's what makes me nervous, is I don't know how much it's going to grow once we block it. So fingers crossed that it'll still fit perfect after blocking. For this last current project, I saved it for last because A, I'm a bit embarrassed that it's still not done, and B, the reason why I'm showing you guys this project is because I want you guys to hold me accountable, because I really want to finish this. I don't want this to sit in my closet anymore. So I'm going to show you guys what it is. So in 2020, the year we all remember very well, I decided that I would make a temperature blanket. And so here is my incomplete temperature blanket from 2020. You guys, this is huge. So here it is in all its glory. And I still have a ton of work to do. Sorry, this thing is huge. So I'm trying to show you guys all the different colors. So for this temperature blanket, I decided to do all blues because I just couldn't decide on a color palette. So I picked basically all of the different shades of blue of the paint box yarn that you can get on lovecraft.com. And I love all these blues. It's beautiful. And that is why I want to finish it. But apparently 2020 became too crazy of a year, or I got too busy doing other things because I put this in a box away and I haven't touched it since. So I think I looked back at my notes because I actually took notes, and so I know where I'm at. I think I'm like somewhere in the month of May. So I'm not quite halfway through it, but I'm pretty close. So every time I go in my closet, I see this sitting in the box and I'm like, I really need to try to work on this. So I'm definitely not going to get this done by next podcast episode. However, I do want to be able to show you guys progress. So that is why I am showing it to you guys. But the pattern for the temperature blanket is by Tony Lipsy of TL Yarn Crafts. I believe this was her first temperature blanket pattern. Don't quote me on it. And Tony, if you're watching this and I'm wrong, I apologize. But I'm pretty sure this was your first one. But I actually don't know. I just remember it was like the beginning stages of her making temperature blankets. And I love that she's continued doing it. And every single year, her designs for temperature blankets get even better. And I want to start another one. But how am I going to start another one when I have this one to finish? So my goal this year, finish this temperature blanket. Okay, well, that is pretty much everything that I wanted to show you guys on this podcast episode. I've been trying to figure out how to end these episodes, and I might kind of just change it up every month because I don't really have a set in stone thing. But the one thing I want to share with you guys before I leave you is, so with that Daily Grace Planner I showed you guys earlier in the episode, one of the things that it has you do before you start your month is to pick a verse to memorize. So I thought I would share with you guys the memory verse I picked for the month of January. And that is going to be Romans 8:26. And it says, "In the same way, the Spirit also helps us in our weakness, because we do not know what to pray for as we should. But the Spirit intercedes for us with inexpressible groanings." Now, the reason why I picked this verse is because for me, I am an emotional person, and sometimes I get super overwhelmed with my emotions that I don't even know how to express myself. And so when I read this verse, it gives me so much comfort to know that the Holy Spirit that lives within me and guides me through my everyday life also intercedes for me to the Father when I have no idea what I should be saying or praying for, or even want to. You know, sometimes as Christians, we don't want to pray and we want to stay in our flesh, in our emotional states, and just hold on to things. And I am for sure guilty of that. So when I read this verse, that helps me just let go of that and just remember that I can just sit at the Lord's feet and let the Spirit intercede for me when I pray. So I hope that brings encouragement to you today. I'm really, really looking forward to see like what goes on this year with these podcast episodes. If you guys are enjoying them, I really would love it if you guys would like and subscribe to my channel so I can keep making this content. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next podcast episode.